verse 11 to 20. Don't waste your time on useless work, mere busy work, the barren pursuit of darkness. Expose these things, for the sham they are. It's a scandal when people waste their lives on things they must do in darkness, when no one will see. Rip the cover of those frauds and see how attractive they look in the light of Christ. Wake up from your sleep, climb out of your coffins. Christ will show you the light. So watch your step, use your head, make the most of every chance you get. These are desperate times. Don't live carelessly, unthinkingly. Make sure you understand what the Master wants. Don't drink too much wine that chips your life. Drink the Spirit of God, huge draughts of Him. Sing hymns instead of drinking songs. Sing songs from your heart of Christ. Sing praises over everything. Any accuse for a song to God the Father in the name of our Master Jesus Christ. Hi guys, thank you for joining me. My name is Lihle. I recently went on Saturday to a youth gathering, the first that I've ever attended under Holiness Union Church. I just wanted to see what the vibe was, what happens and all of that. Kind of shameful to say, but not a lot of people attended, but I understood because it was still January, it's still the beginning. Everybody's still figuring things out. A lot of youth has gone to school. So, but I so enjoyed the service, man. I really did enjoy the service. Prejudicedly, maybe because it was given by my husband's uncle, but other than that, I like the choice of topic that he said was making good choices and how important it is to make good choices. But what he covered was how to make those good choices that I really enjoyed. And this is the verse that he read from, and it kind of sort of resonates so much with us right now. Of Wuti, a lot of people are doing a lot of things in darkness that look really good, you know. They're becoming Tiangoma, they're becoming crystal followers, new age, religion, following all these different things. And it looks so attractive, so inviting, because some of them are winning at it in a big way. But they're doing it in darkness, you know, when you read from verse 11. But I don't know if we understand necessarily the burden and the weight of some of the decisions and the consequences that people have to then deal with when they make these choices. And I think the biggest question that you must ask yourself when you're making a choice is, firstly, is this a choice the Lord, my Master, would want me to make? Do you get what I mean? Wanting God's confirmation, wanting God's guidance, that is first and foremost where we should all start, with wisdom, because He's the only one who can give it to us. And then the next thing that we ask is, can I deal with the consequences of whatever happens, good or bad? Because sometimes you take a leap of faith on something and you make a decision to do something, to pursue something, and it might not work out the way you thought it would. So that decision, if you've already made the choice to say, okay, I'm making this decision and I'm willing to deal with the consequences. If something bad happens, if something good happens, I'm willing to stand. Because guys, we do want to sometimes, we knowingly sometimes do the wrong things, knowing, having read that God will forgive us, we will find our way back, and all these things, and we don't think necessarily about how much time we have, if we still have the time, and all of these things, and we're just really being careless and thoughtless with the decisions we make. And something that I recently learned from Miles Monroe about the importance of making decisions is you basically have to make a decision every minute of every day. That's now, period. Every minute of every day you're going to make a decision. The choice to wake up. You could have chosen to lay there 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, 20 more minutes. That's a decision you have to make. You could choose to immediately wake up. You could choose to pursue a job like my now thing. And all of these things, the little things that you do, all of them have consequences at the end of the day. If you choose to do good things, like for me, who is busy trying to put effort into a business, every day I can choose to sit, and do nothing and watch TV all day and just scroll mindlessly on something. But when I sit and do something, design on the computer, when I try to promote myself a little bit more, when I market myself a little bit more, those are just little things that I'm doing that in the bigger perspective could have really big consequences. You know what I mean? On one hand, I can choose not to put an effort into anything and sit there and think that, oh, because I am under guidance of the kingdom, the people will just come to me. How will they know that you're there? How will they know that you're available if you don't put yourself out there? Sometimes we do expect like miracles that will never happen really, because the Lord like people who use their brains, honestly think, like, let's talk about it. He's a person of wisdom. He likes people who think through situations. He likes people who use their minds. Yes, he gives you the skill. Yes, he'll give you all the supplies that you need. Yes, but you gotta put a little bit of effort, put some work into it. Yes, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I can choose to put all of this effort and then slowly watch my business grow, because obviously it's not going to happen overnight. Or I can choose to just set up here, set up there, do a little bit of effort here and there, and then think, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire, when just sitting on the couch, scrolling on YouTube, watching some of these endless things. Do you get what I mean? It's a choice. Sometimes I choose to be lazy. It happens. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of Sabbath at the right time, though. But making the choice to just do a little bit each day, do a little bit each day, do a little bit each day, is making me see a little bit more effort, a little bit more, fruits into some of the decisions I've made. But we have to be smart about thinking things through. So first, come with the wisdom of God and think things through. Ask yourself about the consequences, and don't just be selfish and think about yourself. Also think about, like, how will this affect other people? Because it's not just you. Some of the decisions we make affect other people, especially when it comes to children. As a young person, you're at school right now, you can choose to do anything. You can lie to your parents, they're not allowed when they're not around, so you can pretty much do anything. But if you get pregnant and then the consequence thereof is you're supposed to provide for a child, but then you want an scapegoat because we don't want to deal with the consequences of our actions, so you get an abortion. But then there's a consequence to that too. Even that decision has a consequence. Because honestly, I don't think we really think about certain decisions when we make them in a rush, or when we make them out of fear. And I've learned last year that fear has stopped me from a lot of things, from pursuing a lot of things, because I was afraid. I was afraid of failing. I was afraid of being ridiculed. I was afraid of being laughed at. And these are just consequences of this decision that I would be making. What if I didn't fail? What if I succeeded? What would people then say? Do you get what I mean? But it's not always the reality of it. And fine, you have to deal with the reality of whatever happens. But then I was thinking on the perspective of, what if that thing that I'm refusing to do is literally the only purpose that the Lord created me for? Because my perspective now is that the Lord has seen beginning and end, Alpha, Omega. You know what I mean? So there are places where He saw gaps and He saw spaces, and He said, I need people to fill these spaces. And then He created those particular people. Just like you can say Mary was created to just deliver the Lord. She didn't just do that, yes, but the most important thing, that her call was in that. She could have refused. She could have easily said, nah, I don't want to deal with losing my fiance. I don't want to deal with the ridicule that I'll get of getting pregnant and not knowing who the father is, or not being able to pinpoint who the father is. Do you know how hard that will be? I don't want to deal with that. No, she could have said no and carried on with her life, because we know our God is not a forceful God. He won't force us to do anything. But she joyfully said yes, and because of that, she was blessed. That didn't make her life any easier. But that answer to a call made so much of a difference in higher perspective from just herself. She didn't selfishly think of me. She thought, okay, the Lord is calling upon something, and it's a betterment of the kingdom. It's in pursuit of the kingdom. It's in alignment with what the Lord has made me for. What if that child was your only creation purpose? I'm not saying that you're the Mary who's going to birth the next Jesus, no. But I'm just saying everybody has a purpose. And you just killed maybe a child who was going to help you from a difficult situation. There are a lot of people with testimonies of choosing to do the right thing when it was so hard. And it didn't become any easier. It became harder and harder and harder. But when they look back and when they are standing now, they think, I wouldn't be standing here without this child. This child saved my life. This child made me a better person. This child gave me a reason to live when I was on my deathbed. You know what I mean? And you don't know, just because when you got an abortion and then you go down the line and you discover that thing that's eating you up, your child could have saved you from, and now you have no relief, and then you killed yourself because you killed your only scapegoat, wrongly thinking, because you were trying to get yourself out of a hot seat, that you should make the wrong decision. I very much enjoyed the sermon. I thought a lot of more people should have heard it, and it's sad that the youth didn't really get to hear it all that much, but I'm sure that he will repeat it again down the line, and you know what I mean, and hopefully someone who needs the advice, because yes, it's not easy doing the right thing, and it won't get any easier just because you've decided to do the wrong thing. I don't know. Something else that I learned is dealing with the consequences. The Lord didn't promise us just because we reconnected with him at the moment where we had done wrong and we pursued him with our whole heart, that we're not going to deal now with the consequences. Do you get what I mean? What he's promising is that he will be with us and the burden will be less. Not I will take it fully away. You still have to deal with now the responsibility of providing for that child for the rest of your life, and it's not going to be easy, yes. But it's a consequence that you're willing to deal with, and if you keep putting your faith in the Lord, because he said he'll forgive you, he'll provide for you because you chose to do what was hard, even more than he would have provided because you made the wrong decision and then asked for forgiveness. Do you get what I mean? I mean, perspective. It is very much in perspective. Making all our decisions, I guess, is perspective. And it depends. I think my biggest thing was it depends on the information you have. Because sometimes you have the wrong information and then make a decision based on the information that you have, which is limited, and then the decision is wrong. I don't know, like you were hoping for the best and then it turned out into the worst thing. That happens as well because of limited information. It's like in our finances. Sometimes I feel that in my finances, because I wasn't necessarily taught appropriately all about finances, I do make unnecessarily choices and decisions and mistakes that I could avoid if I had more information of something. But then that's the whole point. You go pursue. Lord loves a person who hungers for knowledge. So don't limit yourself. Go read. Go read more. If you want to conquer finances, go read more about finances. Watch more finance videos. If you're scrolling endlessly on YouTube, make sure that you're scrolling about the right thing. That's what I'm saying. That could also help. If you have a problem with your finances, scroll about financial literacy. Make sure that you're learning more about that. And then you'll find your way. It's not going to happen overnight, yes, because change doesn't come so simply. But over time, hearing it and making decisions and seeing the mistakes or the consequences that develop because of certain decisions gives you experience and allows you to have information which allows you to make better choices the next time. So it's not always a bad thing. So don't always beat yourself up if the decision didn't come or manifest the way you wanted to. Hang in there. Change course. That's why I'm saying go to the first place is to ask for wisdom from the Lord, because sometimes it's not a matter of making the wrong decision. It's a matter of experience. Whichever decision that you're going to make is not a wrong decision. It's just about going through the experience, and the Lord is just opening the door of experience for you so that down the line you will have this lesson. This will be your experience is through this type of lesson of, okay, you have to move from this phase to the next phase and you need growth. So moving away from your parents is an opportunity of growth, but then also being promoted in your company is an opportunity of growth. So it can be either or, just the opportunity of growth. So sometimes it comes in those waves. But that's my take. I just wanted to share that because I think making decisions is very important in hindsight, thinking about consequences in perspective. So I hope you took something away as I did when the pastor was actually saying it on Saturday. But yeah, be blessed. Enjoy the rest of your days, guys. And keep asking for the Lord's wisdom always. Bye.